You open the mailbox and your stomach drops. Another bill. Another reminder that you're sinking. You work hard, but the money disappears before you can even breathe. What does the Bible actually say about getting out of debt, and can it help? Maybe it's student loans crushing you before your career even starts. Credit cards that started as emergencies and spiraled out of control. A car payment that eats half your paycheck. Medical bills you'll never afford. You've tried budgeting apps, side hustles, cutting back on coffee, but you're still drowning. You lie awake calculating, if I pay minimum on this card, extra on that loan, skip this bill. The stress is constant. You avoid phone calls from unknown numbers. You hide purchases from your spouse. You smile at work while panicking inside. And the shame is suffocating. You feel like you've failed at basic adulting. Everyone says just make more money or stop being irresponsible. But they don't understand. You're not lazy. You're trapped. And you're wondering, does God even care about this? Can faith actually help me get out of this hole? 2,000 years ago, Jesus told a story about a wealthy man going on a journey. Before leaving, he entrusted his money to 3 servants. To one, he gave 5 talents, about 100 years' worth of wages. To another, 2 talents. To the third, 1 talent. No instructions, no rules, just, I'm leaving, do something with this. The first 2 servants immediately went and invested the money. They took risks. They put the resources to work. The servant with 5 talents doubled it to 10. The servant with 2 made it 4. But the third servant, he was afraid. So he dug a hole and buried his 1 talent to keep it safe. When the master returned, he asked for an accounting. The first 2 servants proudly showed their gains. The master's response, "Well done. You were faithful with a little, now I'll trust you with much more. Come celebrate with me." Then the third servant stepped forward. "Master, I know you're a hard man. I was afraid of losing your money, so I buried it. Here, I kept it safe. You have exactly what you gave me." The master's response was harsh. "You wicked, lazy servant. If you were too afraid to invest it, you should have at least put it in the bank to earn interest. You did nothing with what I gave you." Then he took the 1 talent and gave it to the servant who had 10. The crowd was probably shocked. Shouldn't the master praise the safe choice? Shouldn't he reward the servant who protected his money? No, because the master didn't want protection. He wanted production. Here's what this parable reveals about God's view of money, and it's not what most churches teach. God doesn't want you to just survive financially. He doesn't celebrate poverty. He celebrates stewardship. The servants weren't praised for playing it safe. They were rewarded for taking what they were given and multiplying it. The third servant's problem wasn't lack of resources. He had a talent. His problem was fear. Fear of failure, fear of risk, fear of responsibility. So he did nothing. And doing nothing with what God gives you is actually considered wickedness in this story. Here's the radical truth. God wants you out of debt not just to relieve your stress, but because He has more He wants to entrust to you, and debt keeps you trapped. The Bible calls debt slavery for a reason. The borrower is slave to the lender. You can't serve God's purposes fully when you're enslaved to monthly payments. So how do you actually get out of debt? Using biblical principles. First, face the numbers. The third servant knew exactly what he was given. You need to write down every debt, every payment, every dollar. Ignorance isn't peace, it's denial. Get brutally honest. How much do you owe? What are you actually spending? Many people don't have a money problem, they have an awareness problem. Second, put your money to work. The Bible doesn't celebrate poverty, it celebrates wise stewardship. Start with the debt snowball. Pay minimum on everything, attack the smallest debt first, then roll that payment to the next debt. As you free up money, don't just increase your lifestyle, invest it. Even $25 a week adds up. Make your money multiply, don't let it sit. Third, increase your capacity. The faithful servants doubled what they were given. Ask yourself, how can I create more value? Not just work more hours, but increase your skills. Learn something marketable. Start a side business. The servants didn't wait for more resources, they maximized what they had. Fourth, break the fear of scarcity. The third servant buried the money because he was afraid. Fear keeps you stuck. God's economy works differently. When you're faithful with little, He entrusts you with more. Give even when it's hard. Invest even when it's scary. Generosity and wise risk-taking position you for multiplication. You're not stuck in debt because God is punishing you. You're stuck because the enemy wants to keep you enslaved, distracted, and unable to fulfill your purpose. Debt isn't just a financial problem, it's a spiritual prison. God has more for you, more influence, more impact, more resources to steward, but you can't receive it while you're buried in bondage. The same God who multiplied 5 loaves to feed 5,000 can multiply your small steps into financial freedom. Stop burying your potential in fear. Take the next right step. Face the numbers, make a plan, put your money to work. You're not just getting out of debt, you're getting positioned for blessing. If this helped you, subscribe for more biblical wisdom on real-life problems. Let's break free together. Your breakthrough is coming.